I'll be explaining the new BrickQ product and where it can be used in the curriculum. We're going to learn how to use the LEGO Education BricQ Motion Prime in your classroom, and we'll discover how easily BrickQ allows your students to bring physical science concepts to life, and so how it models that. So we'll understand which products are targeted at which years, and we'll take a brief look at a unit from each age range, and then we'll take a more in-depth look at a gymnast unit from the secondary school. So if we jump forward, first of all, I want to play you a little video that just sort of demonstrates, if you like, or the product. I guess the main thing to get out of that, I suppose, is that the set's really been designed around encouraging students to discover physical science in action. So there's the we'll go through the two kits and where they fit in greater detail, but it's and you can see here where they fit into the LEGO Education learning continuum, and you can see here. It's a product which holds a similar theme through a number of years. And so you've got here the BrickQ Motion Essential, which is targeted in the primary school. And you've got the BrickQ Motion Prime, which sits up here in the secondary school. So there's two kits which follow a common theme. So, and that's, you know, where it essentially fits in. If we go to cover the product line in greater detail, as I said, we've got this BrickQ Motion Essential set, which is targeted around years K through to 5. And then we've got the BrickQ Motion Prime set, which is targeted at years 6 to 8. So it's really important you understand the Essential is for K to 5 and the Prime is for 6 to 8. So, and then within each, there's a series of units or lessons, if you like, that are targeted at different age groups. So particularly, say, with the BrickQ Motion Essential set, using that, it divides out, and there are, with the same kits, you can basically use them in, there's 7 lessons, which are targeted around the years K to 2 age range, and there's another 7 lessons targeted at grades 3 to 5. And then for the BrickQ Motion, the Prime set in the senior school, there are 7 lessons connected to that as well. So now I'll just play you a little video here where it explains the 7 lessons in the years K to 2. Sorry, I'll just make sure I've switched on the sound. And
through to year.
And we'll start.
The first unit we'll look at is called Train to Win. This unit is targeted at lower primary grades K through to year 2. The unit's focus will give students an understanding of forces and motion as they plan and conduct experiments and investigations about the cause and effect of push and pull forces. The lessons in this unit will introduce students to the process of asking and answering questions, data analysis, and how to present their ideas. In the lessons, students will work towards determining whether changes to their design solutions work as they intended to change the speed or direction of an object with a push or a pull. In this particular unit of work called Sail Car, we'll explore the invisible push force we know as wind. And now I'll just play the initial inspiration or engagement video.
And now we'll have a look at the years 5 and 6, sorry, years 3 to 5, the lessons.
The second primary school unit is called Winning with Science. It's targeted at upper primary grades 3 to 5. This unit is focused on developing students' understanding of forces and motion. In these lessons, they will conduct investigations about the effects of balanced and unbalanced forces. They'll investigate the patterns in an object's motion, developing and sharpening their ability to predict future motion. Along the way, they'll develop their collaborative conversation skills as they actively engage in a range of discussions. In this case, we'll have a look at the Gravity Car Derby unit. And in this unit, students will be investigating gravity and friction. We'll just have a quick look at the engagement video here.
So you can see in that that particular video that unit of work, if you like, it's all about exploring friction and how they can get their creations, if you like, or models to slide down that ramp and measuring the distance and understanding that wheels help to reduce friction and the surface area of the object and the weight involved all affect its momentum and how far it travels. And in a second, we'll jump into another unit where we'll explore some of those themes at perhaps a higher level. And I just thought it'd be more engaging. But I'll just play you one last little overview relating to where these units sit. Now, if you are wanting to know where to find those sort of units and the explanations, if you come into, say, Google, so I'll just bring this up, and up here, grab a new thing, you just type in, say, LEGO Education Lessons, okay, or lesson plans even. Okay, so it's really important to get the LEGO Education. We're dealing with the education side of LEGO, so as opposed to the retail, and then just put in lesson plans. And here you should be able to find them. You'll find here the US links here. If you can see that, that's the US version. You can also find the Australian links, which will have links to the Australian curriculum. So you can come down here, click on that, and it'll bring you up here. Now, this is the LEGO, the lesson plans for all LEGO's products. And in this case, we're trying to be a bit more specific and have a look at the lesson plans relating to BrickQ Motion. So say the BrickQ Motion Essential that we were just having a look at, you could come in here, click on that, okay, and you can see you get the division now of the two sets of units targeted at different ages. So the pre-K to 2 and the grades 3 to 5. So if you jump in here, you can come in, and then you get the currently 7 lessons that are linked to that particular kit, if you like. You'll also notice some of them have hybrid written here, okay? The hybrid is a new idea. I suppose it's relating to COVID, where there are 3 lessons where if you've got kits, schools can't necessarily send the kits home with each child. So they've created these little additional packs here. You pick those up for about, I think they're about $20, and you buy them with the actual full-size kit tubs, if you like. And that allows, potentially you can send each child home with one of these, and that allows you to run if, in the event COVID comes back. It's probably more relevant in some of the other countries around the world than in Australia, but potentially the kids can sit on the other end of the Zoom call and participate in those lessons using the Lego in these particular boxes. And you see there's one for the primary school age children, and there's also one for the secondary or 6 to 8 age group as well. So, so not all lessons can be done from the bits of Lego in here. It's just a sort of cut down version, if you like, of the larger kits, but it's something that's available to schools if that's something they're interested in as well. And so, yeah, you can see in here, if we have another look at the Gravity Car Derby, you can see the way these, all the sort of lesson plan is broken up here for you, where it follows the 5E model that Lego tends to follow for their unit plans, where you've got engage. So that's that engagement video we watched, and the sort of the questions or how you might facilitate or engage the students with a discussion. Okay, suggested questions are there that you might use to create that discussion. Then there's explore, the actual activities that you'll be doing with the students. They come back, and it also gives you the time breakdown as well, how long you should spend in each section. So, 25 minutes here, 5 minutes with the explain, where the kids come back and discuss their what they've their learnings, and then elaborate as well. We go into the evaluation phase as well, where there's the opportunity for you as a teacher to assess, the students to self-assess or peer feedback, all those sort of things. There's tips on how you might expand out the lessons and create different models, and differentiations covered in there, and extensions as well. The other thing which is crucial, if you come back up to the top, is there's these key objectives, but one here is the educational standards as well, where it's linked to the Australian curriculum, and you can see here the standards are covered there, what is actually covered in the unit itself as well. So any additional resources you may need, that sort of thing, or if the students have lost the instructions, there's the electronic versions of the PDF versions of for building the models, that sort of thing. So if we jump back to the PowerPoint slide at this stage, I'll play one quick video here, and then we'll go on.
The unit of work known as Science of Sports is associated with the BrickQ Motion Prime set. This unit is targeted at years 6 to 8. In the Science of Sports lessons, students will apply their scientific inquiry skills to provide evidence of the change in an object's motion based on net force and mass. They'll apply Newton's 3 laws of motion as they design, develop and optimise a solution involving the collision of 2 objects. Throughout these lessons, they'll strengthen their oral communication skills in collaborative discussions, presenting and analysing their solutions. And now we'll have a quick look at the gymnast unit.
Okay, so this is one of my favourite sort of units. I think I feel I've learnt a lot about it as well, and you can see here, and it involves this particular model that I'm just holding up at the moment, and it's this gymnast, this idea of this gymnast who is swinging inside this sort of moving frame. And to really get the most out of this idea, and the whole unit is centered around discovering Newton's 3 laws of motion. And to sort of get the most out of that, I'll just give you a quick, now it might be a case of where this is a stretch for you. I'm not a physicist either, but it sort of covers those really basics of physics. And we all sort of have heard of the laws or know them, but this is a great little model that demonstrates what's going on and can be used at different levels, particularly when you combine it with spike prime and those sort of things as well. But the three laws that are covered, okay, are the law of inertia, and that's the object, the idea that an object at rest will remain at rest unless a force acts upon it. And then the other one is an object in motion will remain in motion unless another force acts upon it. And we've also got the law of mass and acceleration, and that's basically the acceleration of an object depends on the mass of the object and the amount of force applied. So, and don't worry if these are sort of unclear to you. I'll hopefully the model itself will help to explain these. And then we've got equal and opposite forces, and that's for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Is I guess the idea, and we've probably all heard that law used in our lifetime. So now, first of all, just to understand the model, if I play this, I guess I've created a little film model of it, but you can see here, there's the guy who hangs in the middle, and you've got these little ratchets on the side, which we'll enter into our experiments as well. And you can see the ratchets, the wheels have free movement until you apply the ratchets, and then the ratchets only allow the wheel to move in one particular direction. So, and you can see that's a factor that will be used in the experiments that we'll do. So with that sort of understanding, okay, then we've got this next one. And in the units of work, if we go up and we'll find them, so there's a number of different experiments. So if I drop back out of this, drop back up to BrickQ Motion Prime, and redo that. Hopefully. Now there's simply, I've just sort of come across a little bug here with their website where it doesn't refresh the products after you've already chosen one. So we might, I'll jump in, just do education. So I'll just find that again, something I'll report back to them. Okay, and come in here. This time when I come in and select BrickQ Motion Prime, I'll get the actual unit plans that I'm looking for. So I come in here and scroll down, and this is the gymnast activity. And you can see here, again, it follows that same 5E strategy. There's a video there to engage with. There's also, the explore, and then you can see these experiments that they've set out. And I've gone through and videoed these experiments and done my own sort of modification or extension after that. But if we jump back to the presentation, so here, and this is an example, you'll see this model as it drops. You can see I've created the line here to give you a sort of center point, and you'll see this one is exploring the third law, Newton's third law, which is the equal and opposite forces one. Okay, so you can see as that little guy drops, and what we'd be looking for the students to be able to explain and understand is, you can see, I'll play that quickly again, and you can see as this guy drops, that wheelbase moves in opposite directions. So that you can see the equal and opposite. As this swings down, you'll see the wheels get pushed the opposite direction. As he swings up this side, and then this guy with the weight will start to swing backwards, and he'll pull the trolley forwards. And you can see that sort of equal and opposite forces applying to each other in this model. If it was, you can imagine if the gymnast was just fixed, or sorry, the model didn't have wheels and it was fixed to the table, it wouldn't move, and you wouldn't be able to sort of see, I guess, that the equal and opposite forces applying on each other. And I think it's a good little example there where, it's a good little example there where you can see, you'll see, if you watch the wheel carefully, you can see them move back and forth, and it's a good little demonstration of that. The next one is, so in the video you'll note that the ratchet is down, okay, and this time around, if we play this is the second experiment, you can see, and the first time I drop it from that sort of 90-degree angle, and then I mark how far it traveled. And then with the same model in exactly the same position, given the ratchet's down, it prevents it moving backwards and always ensures that it goes in a forward direction, this time from a 180-degree angle. And you can see there that it travels further. It might seem obvious that that's likely to happen, but it's important that we demonstrate how that sort of affects the movement of things. And in that case, one of them, I think, travels for the longer distance is about 65 centimeters or 67, and the other one's about 45 or 47. So you can see it's a good demonstration, if you like, of this one, the law of mass and acceleration. That's the idea that acceleration on an object depends on the mass of the object and the amount of force applied. So you can see that law apply in that case as well. So if we jump back forward and have a look at the third one, and this is where, in this case, we're asked to put a hand behind, so we're taking all the ratchets off, okay? So it's got free movement, so it should move back and forth, except in this case, you can see I placed the hand behind it. And all of a sudden it takes off there. If I just play that again. Okay, you can see here, I hold it up, and then with no hand behind it, it just swings. However, yeah, whichever direction you put the hand, yeah, so probably here, yeah, you can see if you do it correctly and placing that hand behind it, yeah, I think it's an interesting experiment. Placing the hand at the rear of the model sort of impedes the base from freely moving backwards as the gymnast swings forward. And this introduces inertia or momentum into the model in that case. And so, yeah, I think, yeah, the inertia results in the model having a forward momentum, and yeah, it really sort of demonstrates that quite well, which is the law of inertia, which was that first rule. And the only thing you can, and the idea is that that model, once it starts moving forwards, will continue to move forwards unless some force is applied to it. And that force that slows it down is things like friction and gravity and those sort of things. There'd be the friction in the model, and the gravity applying to it is what slows, on Earth, is what slows everything down. In space, an object would continue with the same momentum unless some other force is applied to it. So now the next thing, and I guess this is slightly off, the what you can do with BrickQ alone, but where you start to introduce the Spike Prime set as well, and you can use the sensors inside the hub. And I'll play this video for you. It just shows it moving in slow motion. It's a really good one for the equal and opposite forces, and you'll see the buggy moving back and forth as this object drops. Sorry, as the gymnast swings, and you can see there the forces that are applying, and gradually gravity, the force of gravity is slowing it down, and friction and all those sort of things are bringing it to a still state. So then the next sort of advance on that, and you can see in that I've sort of grabbed all the data out of the hub, and you can see here's probably an example. I just showed you that one. This is an example where we actually data log and have captured the data and graphed it in the Spike Prime program. So if I play this video for you.
James, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Okay, so if I'm combining it with the Spike, would I buy a Spike set, or would I just buy the hub?
Oh, that's entirely up to you. If you're never going to use the Spike set and the motors or anything like that, then you could buy the hub. But the hub on its own is an expensive piece. It's a bit like if you buy a car from the car dealership, it'll cost you 20 grand. But if you buy it in spare parts, it'll end up costing you 80 grand. So provided you decide you're never going back to the spike prime and you're never going to want to use the motors or the wheels or any of those sort of things.
So James, sorry to bother you. So would you consider putting together a package from MTA where we could buy the Spike Prime base kit, the Spike Prime expansion kit, and the BrickQ together as a one package?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, thanks.
No worries.
Can I ask a question too? Sorry, James.
Yeah, by all means.
The hybrid kits you showed, Modern Teaching Aid, do they sell them? Because I can't find them.
Yes, they do. They do.
Okay.
Jump in if you like. Let me get to the question time and ask me again, because we're just about finished and I'm about to open it up for questions anyway.
Beautiful. No worries.
And we'll answer that. So good. Okay. And so, and these, I suppose this, slide leads exactly into what you're hoping. It doesn't sell the sets separately though. You're meant to buy them as in combination with the actual kits. However, if you've already bought the kits and you now decide you want them, we should be able to help you out and arrange the sale of those as well. Probably best to do that and contact your reps and just explain the situation. So, and now, we're literally at question time, so you can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you might have. Pop your video on. So, are there any other questions?
James, how can you hear me?
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We just need you to talk up. Yes.
Sorry. Just a quick one, because I have the sets and I have them with the small packs, whatever they're called. If you're not going to actually teach remotely, is it pointless having those bits? Because they're duplicates of what's already in the pack, right?
They are duplicates, yes. It is real. They are really designed with that hybrid teaching where the kids, in a COVID environment, it makes more sense for them. So,
cool.
if you're only using it in the classroom, you just need the kits themselves. But if there's a chance of going into lockdown or something and you're wanting them for that reason, it makes total sense. Or there might be other reasons why you might have that to extend out for homework purposes, those sort of things.
Awesome, thank you.
No worries. Okay.